Falcons fans watching week one probably did some damage to their liquor cabinet because that was one of the most deflating starts to a season I can remember in Atlanta. But it is a long season. There's a lot of football left, so we're not throwing in the towel after just one loss. So if you're looking for some relieving news and some of the good takeaways out of this game, let's start with wide receiver Ray-Ray McCloud, who, hand up, I did not have a ton of confidence in as a major receiver in this offense, just given his entire history as a core special teamer. But the guy had a fantastic Sunday. I mean, 4 receptions for 52 yards, and one of them was a huge grab. If you guys remember, Kirk Cousins was hit as he threw. The ball kind of floated up in the air forever, and it looked like it was going to be a surefire interception. And then there's Ray-Ray McCloud to kind of save the day and come down with it from a very acrobatic catch. So for the Falcons that didn't really have a whole lot going offensively, if they're looking for some good news, you can start with Ray-Ray McCloud. I mean, he had a better game than Drake London and Darnell Mooney. He got more receptions and more yards than them. He was one of their best players on offense, period. And I also think it's important to look at the snaps from week one because the snaps, they tell you a couple of things. And I don't think snaps really get talked about enough, but they tell you where the coaching staff feels or stands on a player. And it also tells you the direction the coaching staff wants to go schematically. And you can see Atlanta essentially had 2 wide receivers on the field the entire game, right? So their base offense is a minimum of 2 receivers. And then you've got Ray-Ray McCloud playing over half of the game. So majority of the time, the Falcons had 3 wide receivers on the field. So if you're going to run a heavy 3 wide receiver set, or at least 2 receivers and majority of the time 3 receivers, you want to have some good depth at that position, right? That's a group that you are investing in, that you are leaning on to be the furnace for your offense. And if your third receiver is outperforming the top 2 in just the first week, I mean, that's not going to hold the whole season. Like, Drake London's not going to have a bad game every single week. Same goes for Darnell Mooney. But the fact that you got great production from number 3, now you can start thinking about what's going to happen when number 1 and number 2 are going, and you know what you already have going in number 3. Now, PFF put out their grades for the entire Falcons roster, and I wanted to share where some of the best and the low points were. Nate Landman, Bijan Robinson coming in at number 1 and 2. I'm not surprised by Landman. He was so good last year. I didn't know how Atlanta would manage having Ellis, Andersen, and Landman in a 3-deep room with 2 starting gigs. Ultimately, they decided to split the second starting linebacker role between Landman and Andersen, who both had great games. Bijan Robinson, I think if you just look at the box score, it doesn't do it justice. The guy put up stupid numbers when facing 8 deep boxes. Like, just think about what the Pittsburgh Steelers were adjusting to in the second half. They notice, well, for starters, they don't run any play action, so we don't have to worry about that. Secondly, they run every single run out of shotgun. So if Kirk Cousins is in shotgun, it's a run. If he's in pistol, it's a pass. So for Bijan Robinson, the poor guy breaks the huddle, and he looks across from the line of scrimmage. He sees 11 Steelers defenders that all know 7's getting the ball. They're in shotgun. And despite all that, he was still able to put up great runs and great rushes. So really encouraging stuff from what I saw out of Robinson. I'm not going to fall trap to the box score. And then Ray-Ray McCloud coming in at number 5, 72.4. When it comes to PFF, I always say add 10, and that gives you like your school letter grade. So a B- performance for your number 3 wide receiver in a game where they only scored 10 points. I'll take it. I liked what I saw out of Ray-Ray McCloud. He was definitely some relieving news given that Atlanta's going to run a lot of heavy wide receiver sets, and they got good production from what's supposed to be the slowest guy in the relay, but he's definitely the fastest of all 3 guys. Now, we can also look at some of the bad PFF grades. These were the bottom 5 players after the top 5. Matthew Bergeron just had a horrible game. There's no other way around it. It felt like he was never in control of his position. He was getting worked by Cam Hayward and the rest of that Steelers defensive line. Kirk Cousins should be thankful that Matthew Bergeron existed. Otherwise, he would definitely be last. Taquan Graham and Eddie Goldman, I was a little, I wouldn't say disappointed from Goldman because it's his first game since 2021, but I was hoping for a little bit more out of the big guy in the middle. And then Lorenzo Carter, the fact that your starting outside linebacker has a 50.5 overall PFF grade and Arnold Ebiketie still can't find a way into a starting role makes me really concerned about just the grassroots at that position. Because I don't know if Matthew Judon's going to be a long-term fix. He's already 30, 31 years old. You're kind of hoping that your Penn State draft pick would mature and develop into a larger role. Now, we've got more to get to on today's topic in just a moment, but we are so close to reaching our goal to do a watch party for week 2 on Monday night against producer Reed's Philadelphia Eagles. So if you want to see the Dirty Birds clown the other birds, hit the sub button down below. I know 67 of you watching are not subscribed. Hop aboard one of the fastest growing Falcons communities out there. Now, quickly, I want to shout out our sponsor as well, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in September. That's right, only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. So here are my 2 selections for week 2. Obviously, I took the Caleb Williams more on 0.5 passing yards. And then I also took the more on Jamison Williams, 45.5. He had a really good game for the Lions, and I felt like that was a kind of low number for a guy who's quickly emerging as the #2 receiver in a high-powered Lions offense. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. Now, slightly switching gears, but still staying on topic with the offense in general, I know no one wants to hear bad news in the middle of the week, and we're going to turn the page from week 1 and get ready for week 2. I already put out my preview for that game, but I'm still not convinced that Kirk Cousins is healthy. I think there are some really big underlying issues here. I just can't get past rewatching the game and every single drop back of his and looking like, well, that's a guy that can't move more than 3 or 4 feet. Kirk Cousins in 2022 led the entire NFL in pass attempts from play action. The guy had 0 in week 1. So there's either one or two outcomes here. Zach Robinson is an idiot, or Zach Robinson does not trust Kirk Cousins to be mobile enough to run a play action, turning into a bootleg style play where the quarterback puts his hand out and does a big wheel around, you know what I mean? And then comes around the other side and starts looking downfield. It's one of those two. And I don't know which one is worse. Like, if it's Zach Robinson is an idiot, oh man, we are in for a long season. Or if it's Kirk Cousins is so, immobile that he can't even run play action, oh boy, we're in for a long season. And by the way, I'm not the only one that feels this way. Initially, I wouldn't say naive, but I was in denial. Let's go with the word denial about this. And then I saw Falcons legend, former backup quarterback Kurt. After further review, it doesn't look like Kirk Cousins is physically ready to play football, and I don't think he gives the Falcons the best chance to win under his current circumstances. He does not look fully healthy or explosive with his Achilles by any means. Also, I was talking about this with our Vikings host here at Chat Sports, Patrick Seatman. He does a great job. Go check him out if you'd like. And he's watched more Kirk Cousins than anyone in our office, of course. And he was watching the game, and he was like, one thing I noticed is Kirk was just not getting his back plant leg down and getting power from it. It looked like all of his throws were trying to come from his upper body, which it's not going to work in the NFL. These defenders are too talented to only get 50% into your throw. So not only do you not have a mobile quarterback, which by no means am I advertising that Kirk Cousins used to run some great read option play, but the fact that he can't even maneuver in the pocket or roll out of it or just run a simple play action, and he can't get power because he can't push off his back leg, yeah, there is a serious concern to be had here. So the question then really turns into, when do you draw the line? Like, week 1, it's done, it's over with, and hopefully everything I've been saying for the last few minutes is just a fugazi, right? And it's just me in my own head, and I'm overreacting, and I want that to be the case. But if we see Kirk Cousins look like a statue in week 2 on Monday night against the Eagles, how much more do we need to see? Like, I'm not giving up on Kirk as a quarterback. I'm just simply accepting that he's not healthy. At least he does not look anywhere near healthy. A healthy Kirk Cousins, I'm ready to roll with, believe me. But that's like an unplayable quarterback, it looks like. That kind of looks like Peyton Manning, that last stretch before they won the Super Bowl. The only difference, though, is that was Peyton fucking Manning. Kirk Cousins can't get away with that. He's not Peyton Manning. Like, he's not a physical specimen, but, like, there are only a few quarterbacks in the world that can probably get by with being pretty injured. And I don't think Cousins is on that list. So let me know how long you kind of want to see this play out for. Or if you're ready to go, you know what? They used the 8th overall pick on a college quarterback who played 6 years. No one is more pro-ready than he is outside of Bo Nix, who had an FBS record of starts. Let's see what Penix can do. I don't think we're very far away from that if Cousins continues to be a statue in the pocket, can't climb up and down in the pocket, and just can't run a simple play-action play. I mean, your playbook is just getting squashed. So let me know what you think in the comment section. I always love to hear from you guys. Before we go, I do want to give some quick shout-outs and some love to our Dirty Birds Club, Jose Santana, Ken Ballard, the biggest Saints hater I know, and I love it. Trey1222, Jason Landino, Reese Atkins, Archangel, and then our newest member, Angry Liquid. If you want to get added to the Dirty Birds Club, it's pretty simple. For starters, come hang out with us on Monday night, if we get our subscriber count up, to do a watch party against the Eagles, and then send a $100 super chat in, and we'll add you to the Dirty Birds Club to get shout-outs for the entire 2024 season. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and Wednesday, Thursday. I'm losing track of my days. And I'll see you all later.